It is happening.
It's happening! We are back.
Ever since the last time we talked, or the last episode, we had a different president. Queen Elizabeth was alive.
She's not anymore.
Someone like Obama never shouted.
And see where he is now.
Retired. I don't know
Yes,
what your point
that's
is.
the point.
Please, is in a box. In Kenya, you can get away with corruption with minimal impact. I can get into that position still, as long as I'm aligned with the powers that be. I will get away with it.
Yeah. For the elite to keep control in a nation, the politicians, the rich people,
Need to keep.
you need to have that balance of people need that hope. If they don't have that hope, they'll come at your door to try and take everything that you have. Is it a mindset of Kenyans that's also reflected in the leaders we choose? That, okay, we are putting our person there, now things will come to us. We want to eat. And then we complain when our person isn't giving us those things.
What we expect.
Yes.
Let me give you a story.
Energy.
Oh, okay.
This we are back.
No.
Things have happened. People forgot who
But
you are.
you see, Kevin, the thing about energy, I think you can have energy and gravitas. You don't have to shout to have energy. I don't know if that makes sense.
In corporate, shouting gets me seen.
No, in corporate shouting gets you an appointment with the HR.
I can become president by shouting.
Yes, like Hitler.
Yes. You see, making my point exactly.
But now you see, if you want someone who's more collected, someone like Obama never shouted.
And see where he is now.
Retired. I don't know what your point
that's
is.
the point. If
Kevin.
he shouted, he'd still be president like Trump, at 70, 80 years old.
Anyway, hey, hi everybody.
We are back.
We're back. And apologies for the very, very long hiatus. I think we took a massive break.
I think the first question they're asking, who are these old people?
Yeah, we are older and...
But then we started this, he still had hair.
Yeah. I just shaved. Yeah. So we're really back and we're really excited about what the future might hold. Of course, the point of this thing is usually just to have discussions with friends, just friends hanging out. I wouldn't say we are experts per se in anything that we discuss.
I would say I'm an expert in everything I discuss, and you should take my word for it. You don't need to Google ChatGPT for who.
But no, it's actually,
just ask me.
No, the thing is, ever since the last time we shot a podcast, I think a lot has changed. You mentioned, for example, ChatGPT. The last time we were here, OpenAI was not a thing.
Yeah. And now, but it's been a while.
It's been such a long time.
Yeah.
Queen Elizabeth was alive.
She's not anymore?
Yeah, she kicked the bucket.
All right, this is news to me.
Please, is in a box.
Please, UK, don't cancel this.
So a lot has happened since that time. And obviously, we will be having discussions around a lot of all those issues that have happened. We'll share our very strong opinions on those items.
Factual opinions.
Yes, factual opinions.
You don't need to look it up.
On all those items that have happened ever since we had those discussions. And we hope to have a good time and fun.
Yeah.
Welcome.
And you are?
My
No one
name
knows
is...
you now.
Okay.
He's a micro celebrity.
Okay. So my name is Kelvin Moretti.
And I'm Kevin Kabingu.
Yes.
The podcast is called The Two Mics, but we are two Kevins.
Yes.
Misleading. Kevin's have a bad rep.
Yep.
So Mike is better.
Yeah. So, and actually, for the two mics, we can see we have our
two mics. Yes.
Yeah.
DJIs.
But anyway, so welcome. And we hope to engage you through the entire podcast, and hopefully you can give us feedback on what you think. Ever since the last time we talked, or the last episode, we had a different president.
Yeah. Uhuru was your guy. Is he still your guy?
I think I have been accused of being a fanboy. I just still strongly believe that he was one of the best presidents this country has had.
That's easy to say after.
Everything is in retrospect, right?
Yes.
Everything makes sense when you look
hindsight
back
is 2020.
in hindsight.
Yes.
So, and from my point of view, of course, he was not perfect. Obviously, he was not perfect. But I think what he did for this country was capacity building. He set up Kenya to be a country that is developed in the future. That's capacity building. Of course, the execution, we can discuss executions all you might want. But in that regard, I do think that he did a good job. He did a fantastic job. So, of course, one would argue, if, for example, you want to make a cup of tea, you don't put too much sugar in it. And I think maybe they would overdo some of these things. There's a lot of corruption, or budgets would be quite high. But I think his mind was in the right place. He was empathetic, in my opinion. Which is strange, because coming from a man who's so rich, you'd expect the current one, who's built himself from the ground
The
up,
hustler.
the hustler,
Yes.
would be
Daniel
a bit more
Torre, teacher
empathetic.
of Moi.
Exactly. It's very interesting. It's a very interesting dynamic. Yeah.
So what about the guys who say a lot of the challenges we are facing now was because of the previous administration? The borrowing, the debt burden we have right now, it's because of the previous generation. And they're just trying to catch up or trying to rectify what was messed up by the previous government.
I would say this. It's easy to make proclamations. I want to say, as a good book says, we know them by their fruits. You cannot say. You remember when the current administration came in, the argument was we don't have money.
Yes.
Right? So if indeed we do not have money, the ostentation that we see, the amount of expenditure that we see, the big budgets, sprucing up all the state houses that we have, buying new cars every month, almost like the motor industry is going out of business. How can you for sure say that in the same sentence as we do not have money? So if indeed we're in such a bad position, then Kevin, how comes the people making that claim, and I agree probably expenditure could have been done better, granted, but the person claiming that we do not have money and spending all this money on God knows what is hypocritical at best.
Yes, I think it's just like how our moms tell us, do you have McDonald's money? It's you do not have money, we have money. We'll use it the way we want to use it.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
And so now, and it's the same thing I've always said about sanctions, for example. The reason why they never work with dictators or people who don't care. And I'm not pointing fingers to anybody.
Trump.
People who know anywhere in East Africa or the world. People who don't care, sanctions usually don't work on them because they're not responsive to the emotions and the feelings of the electorate. Someone like Vladimir Putin, no amount of sanctions can
they don't
move
care.
him,
Yeah.
right? So because the citizens cannot vote him out. So he's not answerable to those people. Or if I have machinations where I can be able to steal the elections over and over, I will just if we have a cash crunch occasioned by the sanctions, that pain will be extended to the electorate. Mimi, as a governing elite, they don't feel the pain. Watakata budget yenu, they will cut your budget. Sisi tubaki tunakula bado.
Sindio.
And that's what I'm saying. I feel like it's the same thing we are having currently.
So do you feel, there's someone who was telling me this, the leadership we have is a reflection of who we are as Kenyans. Do you feel that's true?
Who are we as Kenyans?
We are people who will always take opportunity and advantage of any position you're given to eat ourselves, help the people around us, not caring about everyone else. Everyone is like, nataka kufika huko, pia mimi ni kule. And that's even the way we do our tribal politics, is that tribe has eaten, we also want to come in and eat. So is it a mindset of Kenyans that's also reflected in the leaders we choose? that, okay, we are putting our person there, now things will come to us. We want to eat. And then we complain when our person isn't giving us those things.
What we expect.
Yes.
Let me give you a story. There is one of the places where I worked previously. The MD, not the MD, one of the expatriates from Europe, senior person. The first few months after coming in, very adherent to traffic, following the traffic, the matatus, and anazifuata mundu kumundu, you know. And then after a few months, he realizes, oh, matatus usually go on the curb, like they overlap on the side.
Yes.
Dude,
Any space you can use.
I was shocked to see him one day in traffic. Me, I'm in a matatu. I see, wait, this guy is familiar. He's like putting a matatu on the curb on the side. Willy-nilly without care.
Yeah.
And then you're in the office, you're like, I was caught, I was arrested by the police and I bribed them. I'm like, bro, what? You're bribing? You're supposed to be European. Where you guys have the standards and everything.
If you can't beat them, join them.
And then my point becomes then, it's not a Kenyan thing. The issue is the consequences. In Kenya, you can get away with corruption with minimal impact. I can get into that position still, as long as I'm aligned with the powers that be. I will get away with it.
Yeah.
Even the Europeans that we think they have a higher standard of morals or their systems work is because
there's more accountability.
It really sucks to be caught stealing. It's really bad for you if you get caught with evidence that you're doing corruption. So I'm just saying it's not really a Kenyan problem. It's a reflection of who we are. I would argue it is the lack of consequences that in our economy and in our systems that provides a situation where anybody wants to get to that position that they can be able to steal.
Okay.
So whoever we vote for, there is a high chance that regardless of how good the intentions were, they might end up being the same position.
There'll be the guy following the matatu after a while. No one cares.
Yes.
Yeah.
I can be able to steal $1 billion and nothing will happen.
It's either I steal or if I don't, I'm not coming back to this.
Exactly.
But even I'm saying maybe it's a Kenyan thing because, like you said, even okay, what came first? Is it the chicken or the egg? Is it the culture came in first and then we couldn't stop it, or something happened that caused us to like be in this state of desperation? Could it be just the economical situation of many people? They're just they're in survival mode, in the sense that they know when I get that chance to like get that money, get that job or whatever, I'll do anything possible or everything it takes, disregarding my morals, disregarding what I believe. We see people in our government who claim to be Christians and the things they are doing don't feel godlike. So it's, I don't know, I'm just asking what came first. Is it did our country get corrupted and everyone became like this, and then we started electing people who think like us or do like us? Or is it something else? I don't know.
So the French Revolution, by and large, can be traced, can be pointed as the first contact point that we had with, it was the first semblance of modern day democracy. Modern day.
Okay.
We're not talking about now the previous
Athens
one
and
with
Greece.
the Greeks.
Okay.
We're talking modern day, where people became a substantive voice in how they are governed. And what caused the French Revolution during the mandamano, Gen Zs, during the demonstrations, there were a lot of parallels. One, a bad economic environment. Two, a government that is unresponsive to the people. People who do not care what people think. Yeah. And of course, hunger. People were hungry. And of course, when you're hungry, you become angry. And that melting point and the arrogance that came with there was a deep sense of anger with the electorate. That's the point.
There's something I heard. There's someone who was talking about the age of irrelevance, and he was saying the way we look at things. For instance, revolutions don't really do anything in the sense that they only change one oppressive regime for another. The people who come in end up becoming the people we fought before.
No. So now, again, I'm trying to answer your question on what came first. So my point is, the people need to get to a point where they are sufficiently fed up that they cause change to happen, right? And to your point, there are occasions where, like in the French Revolution, of course,
Napoleon came in.
But the previous king, he was actually a rather
Louis.
Louis the Fifth. The fifth or the fourth?
I can't remember.
Yes,
Louis, yeah.
King Louis was an agreeable person. Indeed, in fact, he wanted to listen to the people, and they get an agreement. He's the person who set up that. He called that Congress for people to come and have a discussion for the first time, I think, in over 50 years. Because he really wanted to pacify the anger of the people. It's very, very similar actually to what we had during the mandamano.
Wasn't the pacifying more of self-preservation?
No. When you read history, it seems to be coming from a genuine place.
Okay.
He's someone who was born in privilege, obviously, but he grew very concerned with the scenarios that were happening, the things that were happening, and you realize that this guy, he took personal responsibility because the issues that came in were as a result of his own incompetence.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
His own incompetence. When you're having Congress not being called for over 50 years, shows there's a problem in governance. People, first of all, becomes very unresponsive to what people are saying, and number two, there are things that don't move as they need to.
Yeah.
So good as his intentions might have been, his incompetence is what caused this issue.
Yeah, so
and that's what I'm saying.
Too little, too late.
Yeah, too little, too late one. And you can see the parallels also with the Kenyan situation with the mandamano.
You can say very Kenyan situation, you can say exactly, the Arab Spring, like everything.
So now the thing is, the people got to the point where they decided, you know what, enough of this nonsense, we are going to stop it. We are going to change the system, and they changed it. So of course, there are teething issues. You get the Napoleons who are larger than life figures, but with time, you go refining it. And I think one of the most powerful tools that any country can have is a separation of powers between the executive, the judiciary, and the legislature. Because the motivations of the legislature or the incentives of the legislature are very, very different from the judiciary and from the executive. And therefore, to answer your point,
do you feel they actually? I get that theoretically.
You go refining it as you go.
Yeah.
But the people need to get sufficiently pissed off and angry.
And the sufficient pissing off is the rich or the people in charge need to keep you just not too poor, poor enough, where you have that idea or that hope that I might make more.
Yeah.
I have at least something to eat. I'm not completely worthless or dead. Like I don't have nothing. I have something to live for. When that goes away, then that's when revolutions happen. Because I have nothing to lose. I can go out on the streets. I have literally nothing. If I don't attack the government, my life is over. And then that's how you're getting the... even now, I'll just mention this. I don't condone it and I don't think it's a good thing. What happened with, what's her name, and Hassan passing on? Nani Nati the lady, the politician.
The MP.
Natim Kanina Saudi Nake. Naisahau.
Okay, so you can just check.
Okay, I won't say her name. You've been seeing this story going on social media about her son dying and Kenyans not showing remorse because they're getting to that point where they're like, we don't care anymore. They're not doing a good balance. It's because we would have given, I think Kenyans would have given more of a shit, pardon my French, if they had a little semblance of hope. And I think what you said about Uhuru is during his time, regardless of what you think about his governance, you felt like there's somewhere we're going. I can do something and make something of myself.
And
I don't know. There's something like that. So I could react like a human. I'm not in that place of indifference. But in this situation where we are in,
people celebrate when politicians are
this is a
in bad
truly
situations.
this is a truly bad thing. We wouldn't wish it on our worst enemy, but Kenyans are laughing and making jokes about it. It's because they have gotten to the point of indifference. And this is like you're saying, indicators of a revolution don't like happen once. It's these small things. People become indifferent. It's like a similar case with Luigi Mangione shooting the CEO and people celebrating because they're like, we don't, the insurance companies, they don't care about us. So we don't care about the elite, the billionaires and all that. Indifference is happening. And I would want people to watch that video of, what's his name? The Changing World Order. Check it out on YouTube. I don't know if I've ever shared that video.
I think I've watched it.
Yeah, the Changing World Order. And one thing that happens in a nation is, when a nation becomes more prosperous, is the divide between the rich and the poor becomes bigger.
Too big. Yeah.
And then that divide starts causing the internal tension and turmoil.
Yeah.
So I think, I don't know if we are heading towards that. I don't know what that big thing that will make it blow up will be, but I feel mentally that's where Kenyans are, and we can see it in like instances like that. I don't even know where I got here, but you can remind me, you can take me back to what we were saying.
So I think the point was, we were trying to, I mean, I've lost the train of thought, but you're trying to draw a parallel. You're trying to create a scenario where people are getting to a point where they'll get angry and we can have a revolution.
Yeah, revolutions might happen but what I wanted to say is, for the elite to keep control in a nation, the politicians, the rich people
Need to keep.
you need to have that balance of people need that hope. If they don't have that hope, they'll come at your door to try and take everything that you have. So if I'd say maybe for this government, the feeling is you don't care. It's like this is my salary, and then you're like, I'm taking by force. It is a tax. It's no longer it is what did they say first before they said it's a tax? It's a mandatory tax.
They wanted as a savings plan.
Yeah.
So, and then it was no longer a savings plan.
It's a tax. It's like for the common Mwananchi is like, these people don't care. They're taking the little I have, and then on the other end, I'm seeing we're giving this amount of money to renovate State House. We're giving this
money to churches.
Yeah, they're putting up bills of we need our salaries increase so that we can beat the inflation. So I think this is me being if I'm a criminal mastermind or a mastermind politician, it's just an evil psychopath. I'd ensure that people had something to live for.
You see, Kevin,
and hope.
I would look at it from two different ways. One, abundance and scarcity. So abundance. When you look at a country like, have you ever asked yourself why countries like Dubai, Bhutan, for example, countries that are deeply held at the feast of the leadership, never demonstrate, or we never hear any issues, is because those people are well remunerated by the government. They are well taken care of.
Yeah.
So as long as people are full,
Yeah,
no one is going to throw any stones.
No one is going to care. Yeah,
right?
Yeah,
And it's a problem that Saudi Arabia is having right now, because now they're getting to a point where people are beginning to become hungry kidogo. So now Mohammed bin Salman has to think very quickly how to maintain the relevance of the Saudis, the royal family, because by making sure that the prosperity of Saudi Arabia goes into the future, because the moment the oil runs dry, we have a problem for the Saudi family. Why do we need you guys? We are way more than you guys. So now that is abundance. And when it comes to scarcity, now it's what we have in Kenya. It's a government that is trying to enforce the same scenario where we're having countries that have abundance to try and solve the issues that they're having right now. Using what someone said, using a political solution for an economic problem, that can never work.
That would never work.
Right?
Yeah.
So you cannot come and tell companies increase the salaries of people to beat inflation, which I caused by my political undertakings. Where is the money going to come from?
It doesn't work like that.
Yeah, it does not work like that. Companies will increase the salaries based off money in the pockets. And that is what Nyoro says. When people are doing well, you don't have to tell them they're doing well, they will tell you.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Because I'll have money and I'll tell you, we are doing very well.
Doing well. Yeah.
You won't have...
The economy is good.
Exactly.
There's money circulating.
Yes, people will tell you that we're doing well. You don't have to tell them that they're doing well. And it's actually a bit of a misnomer telling people that they're doing well. And I know I'm not doing well.
Yeah.
So my point is, we need... and of course not, we shouldn't have... I don't believe in revolutions. I don't believe in disruptions, personally. What I believe that this country needs is a strict separation of powers. The three arms of government, and I want to add the fourth one, the military, the three arms of government working in silos. We have the president of the judiciary, we have the president of the executive, and then you have the president of our legislature. Because the difference in the difference in motivations for the three, when they are completely separate, they will check one another. Because, like, for me as a member of parliament, my point is to make sure that we have laws and that guy does not become a dictator. Right? The point of the judiciary is to making sure that that guy does not become a dictator. No, you cannot do that. That is not what the law says, right? And these guys have the power of the purse, telling the president, no, we are not going to fund that. So, and that's what I'm saying. When one arm, and especially the ones with the guns, which is the executive, decides to merge the three arms of government, we have chaos and anarchy. And that's what I'm saying now. It becomes, now to go back to your question, we create a scenario where the corruption cycle can never end.
So, if the reason why Rome disbanded generals and why the president is the head of the armed forces is generals would have so much power that anyone who wanted to take over Rome would align with the general. So I see a problem where maybe when things, one arm, I get them checking each other, but if one arm is too powerful, like the military, I don't want the military to be on its own. The military has to be either the president of the country who runs it, and not an individual who has...
It is the president, because and that's the beauty of a democracy. That's a bit of a democracy. The president is the chief commander-in-chief of the armed forces, right? Those are his boys, right? So
So how would the other, like, I want to understand how they are checking each other
So
in a way that it's not done now.
so now, for example, if the executive does something illegal, like say you cannot speak your mind, or like say we are going to block the media from coming in, the one place where we get information from, the judiciary comes and says, no, you cannot do that, right? The president decides, the executive decides, we want to extend our term limits to 20 years. The parliament or the legislature says, no, you cannot do that. We cannot allow you to do that.
Well, how is that different from now?
That's what I'm saying now. Now, the scenario that we have is someone who will come and tell everyone, vote like this. Vote to make sure that I am extending my term limits. Pass laws that are punitive. Pass these punitive tax laws. You know, the laws are supposed to be coming from parliament. The government can suggest, there are ways of which the government suggests laws, and I'm using the word suggest very loosely. But at the end of the day, the laws that govern the country come from parliament.
Yeah.
They're the ones who sit and decide, I want to pass a law that does 1, 2, 3 within the framework of the constitution. Exactly. So now, when parliament decides to pass a law that is illegal, I or someone can sue or can go to court and stop that law from being implemented because it's against the judiciary will say that is unconstitutional. That's what I'm saying. That freedom and separation is very, very critical.
Yeah.
But now what we have currently, we have a judiciary that responds and answers to the presidency, and therefore the probably the executive cannot lose cases, right? Or there's that fear that they have.
Yeah, it's even like how the whole housing levy was stopped and then it came back.
Then it comes back.
Yeah, I get you. But so then it feels very utopia.
We are living in an utopia.
Yeah, because I don't see a point where we get to a point where we won't have that one person like having all this power over everyone else. They could be in the legislature, they could be in the judiciary, but I feel that one person, I know we let's say like how our party systems work here. You have to have majority rule. If you, let's say, win many seats, you have more power to like make more decisions. You pick okay, maybe this is the question. Does the president still appoint the judges? Or does the president still pick the cabinet? So, because that's a lot of power. I can pick people who will align with me.
You see now, and that's why I'm saying the separation is very important. When the principle is we are going to be separate, there's the appointing authority. The Constitution confers that responsibility. And I don't want to call it a right. I want to call it the responsibility of appointing judges is with the president. But the approver is you and me through parliament. So the president thinks this guy is cool. Okay, we'll do an interview and see if he's good. If you feel he's not good, we will not pass him. If there's separation, it will be an objective process. We'll tell him, no, that person you've appointed we don't want. But now if there is marriage between the three, whatever that guy appoints will be approved.
It goes, yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. It's important that we have that separation. And that's not what we have right now. Any person that is appointed obviously goes through, right? And so now on the judiciary side, the person that has been appointed, regardless of him being appointed by the president, should only answer to the Constitution. He does not answer to the people. He does not answer to the president. They answer to the Constitution. And now, the other problem comes in. Not problems. How the Constitution allows for that is making sure that you have security of tenure. the president cannot decide now to fire you. I can rule against you from here to Timbuktu, and there's nothing you can do about it. I can overturn a freaking general election, and there is nothing you can do about that. And that's when the system is working.
Yeah, that's when the system is working perfect.
Yeah.
But I don't see that happening anytime soon.
That's what I'm saying. In Kenya, it's not working. But when you go to Europe, places where these things work, it's not working perfectly. But you see
There's
semblances of it, right? You see a situation where someone can truly believe that we when I go to court, I'll get a fair hearing against the government, for example, if they've done some bad things. Right now, judges that were appointed by previous presidents, of course, right now in the US, it's very political, but seeing judges stopping the proclamations by the executive and saying, no, it's unconstitutional, you cannot just pick people on the roadside and shift them out of the country. There's a process that goes into that. So when the systems are working, it's good. It's like, no, this whole case of Besigye being arrested in Kenya, that is the height of impunity.
Yeah.
A system that is not working.
Yeah.
If it was working, questions have been asked. Was he arrested by the Kenyan police? Because the only authority, jurisdiction is over the Kenyan police. If he's been arrested by the Kenyan police, he needs to be presented to court the following morning and answer for crimes that he has committed.
Yeah.
And then there's an extradition process. If the crimes that he's done is against the Ugandan government, there's an extradition process. But then the question also would be asked, if it's illegal in Uganda, you cannot and he's in Kenya, and it's legal in Kenya, he cannot be arrested in Kenya, for crimes that are illegal in Uganda. Right? So I'm just saying that is the height of impunity.
Again, this is Kenya, where due process is not something that is done.
I have a question. I have a question for you. So let's play the devil's advocate.
So scenario.
Yes.
Current government's devil's advocate.
Yeah.
So in terms of, I'd say they are trying really hard. There's a big debt deficit that's they have, regardless of who did what and when, and it has to be paid. So a lot of the policies they're making, as harsh as they seem, it's offsetting something that would be a bigger problem later. If we are not able to pay our debts, we default, we go in the way of like what happened to Ghana and other nations. So I'd say, if I'm on the side of the government, I'm trying to like either hold off up for our situation, and it might be a bit difficult for you guys now. I give an example of what's happening in the US now. There's the things that are difficult, like how immigrants who usually work on farms and all that are not showing up for work anymore, and farmers are complaining. But the president is like, this is a short-term pain for a long-term, or not even that. I think that's a bad example. I'll give the tariff example. This week I saw, what's the company? I think it was, I can't remember the auto company. It's a German company. And not German, a European company that said it will set up its factory in the USA. So it's the president saying, hey, you see what I said about if they want to make cars here, if they want to make cars to sell in the US, create jobs in the US, build factories in the US. It's going to be a painful process, but it's going to eventually happen. They would say this is the proof of the things have started. Companies have started putting companies here. So back to Kenya, I'd say it's a momentary pain. Mzazi kukuchapa, but ukigrow up ndo utasema, I saw what they were trying to do. Yes.
So do you trust that they're delivering on that?
I'm seeing houses being built, I don't know. I've seen others being stalled. I've seen the Vampire Diary stories. I don't know. I don't think. Oh, devil's advocate. I have to be devil's advocate.
Yeah.
I'd say give them time. They
Okay.
have how many years now? left?
How much time? Another set of 5 years.
Yes. Give them another set of 5 years.
Okay.
I'm playing devil's advocate.
Uh-huh.
I hope someone is tuning in now and is like, this guy is supporting
Nuts.
them. No, but it's very hard because also I think the other thing that they're not doing well is communicating to people in a good way. It's more like it's like, for example, how the Democrats, I think, lost the elections because they were talking at and not to people. It's like nyinyi hamjui mnafanya hii kitu, like this thing has to be done this way regardless of how you're feeling. And I think if we understood certain things better, there was more education on maybe even maybe for many people, even the common mananchi, yes, they'll think about, and I'm rambling, I'm trying, they'll think about food on the table, being able to parent and all that. When you're asking them to give even more, it doesn't make sense to them. If you don't, you have to make them understand why I have to sacrifice even more. If it's for the greater good, there's a greater purpose to all of it. I have to understand it. It's a very hard thing to explain. I don't think the government communicates that well. And for the most part, people feel like there's that, and also there's that feeling of indifference. I'm crying out, I can't be able to afford what you're asking from me. And they're like, tough luck. Yeah.
So maybe they could do a better job in communicating. But so your devil's advocate would be
people don't understand
people don't understand what they're doing.
Yeah, people don't understand what's going on. Yeah.
Okay, so maybe could be just there's nothing much going on, but
it could be.
They just need to do a better job at communicating.
It's better job at communicating and communicating truthfully.
Yes.
I don't want to hear we are doing this.
Come on, you cannot expect a politician to communicate truthfully.
Let's go back to a classier version of politicians.
Which ones?
The ones who, even globally, there's a tax to how you answer questions. It's like that's why maybe many of them are lawyers. It's I know how to answer without answering.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's what you want. So the same thing, just with many steps.
No, but I think it's that thing of the pendulum. We go towards the guys who tell us what we want to hear. They are very tact. It's like he's made a whole speech, but at the end of it, I'm like, I don't know what he said.
What's it?
And then we have the Trumps where the Indian guy is talking in the audience. It's like, I don't know what that guy is saying. And someone else. It's like, he's direct. I like that.
No, I don't believe in that. I think diplomacy is important, Kevin.
This is the thing. I think all of these things, all systems will always, this is what I brought up earlier. There's the only way to get out of the system. I know that maybe many people say the matrix and all that. The only way to get out of the system is to get out of the dependency the system creates. So the giving, I'm trying to remember an example that was given. It's like let's say like consumerism, you are given ideas of your life would be better if you had A, B, C, D. And when you get A, B, C, D, your life isn't better. And then you're told, it's because you didn't have C, D, E, F. Get that. Then like that, it's like you're in this rat race of
perpetual.
Yeah. So even with it's you have to, you can't get out of the system by trying to change the system. So even the example of, we have democracy now. We had monarchies. People are like, it's only a small, it's small families coming together and ruling majority of us. We don't want that anymore. Get them out. We'll vote each other in. And then we started voting each other in. the people we voted in took advantage.
Okay.
We are like, we need something else.
Yeah.
But I'm feeling like the next thing, regardless of what we find, will go through the same processes these other things will have gone through.
Yeah.
It's, we'll choose a new system, we'll get new people, but the same old things will come back to, we are being oppressed and there's some other people taking advantage of us. Colonialists get out of Kenya, Africans oppress us.
Take over the
Yeah, it's always that perpetual cycle. So it has to, and that
going
comes
back
from,
to the point, Kevin, which is
I was playing devil's advocate. Yes.
yeah.
This is to show even the devil can't. Okay. So,
Well, exactly. You have to be abducted. So my devil's advocate would be housing. And the principle behind it, in principle, looks like a good thing because you're injecting money into the economy. Basically, you just want to inject money into the economy. But unfortunately, governments are bad at building houses because governments are not supposed to be building houses. So you might end up with these buildings that are horrible, that are, I hear in Gara, houses are reeking and there's a lot of insecurity. It's become a whole issue, which I expected. Because governments are not good at building houses. So I would have gone in a different direction. If I was going to vie for presidency, but I've realized next election I qualify to be vying for president of Kenya. Very interesting.
So is this why you're pledging?
No. I'm not vying for presidency.
We'll go to a jail. We'll go to his own.
So the better way to do it would be pay pending bills. Pay pending bills. Right now, actually, just a minute, let me confirm.
And I don't, in what country has the government ever, I'm trying to think, because I remember seeing that documentary of Men Who Built America.
So, just a minute. So, as of 2024, the pending bills are at 516 billion shillings. Even if they were to pay 100 billion, Kevin, that is money in our villages, money in our towns. The contractor, when you come to barabara, now you can buy a piece of land from Mama Njeri, who can now educate her child, who can now build like a kiosk. You know, money works, right?
And explain to the audience that a part, like a substantial chunk of this debt is also owed by us.
What do you mean?
Like
I'm talking about pending bills.
Pending bills.
I'm not talking about debt.
Okay.
I'm talking about pending bills where you've supplied books
and never been paid. Yes.
You've supplied medical equipment, you've never been paid. These are businesses
that kills businesses.
That kills businesses immediately. Yeah. So my but the government has gotten to a place where, bro, like if you're not giving me a deposit, I'm not supplying.
You're not doing anything else.
Because your business will surely die.
Yeah.
If you're not careful. So I would not have gone the construction of houses route, even though the intention is good. I would have just focused on clearing some of these bills, and that would help invigorate the economy in ways much bigger than the houses might. Because people have houses. Someone was saying, mimi niko na kwangu. Mimi naishi Githongori, or I live in Kibogua.
Why do I need to?
Why do I need a house?
Yeah.
Right. So
I think even just the common mwananchi, I might be wrong. I don't think anyone wants the government to build a house for them. I don't know. I don't see it. It's like we all have that dream of, I want to work hard, get a piece of land and build my own thing. Yeah. At least I'm
exactly. You don't want the government. I don't want
the government to say like this. I'm going to grab you with the rest of the people, and this is your house.
Because the government.
And again, how many people would afford those houses?
the structure actually is a problem because now me I can't afford to pay it because they'll say, oh,
The people who can afford it won't be allowed to.
yes,
And the people who are qualified to get it
can't afford it.
it.
Yes.
So who buys
Who,
it?
whose houses are this?
Yeah,
And that's what I'm saying. I would have
question, yeah.
gone. I don't believe these people are incompetent. It's just that maybe it's I don't call it malicious. Maybe it was intentional that it was structured like that. Or maybe they didn't see they didn't look at a 360, and so now they have 360. They didn't have a 360 degrees view of the situation, and suddenly now they have a situation that they cannot get themselves out of. But I would have gone the pending bills way. Pay people money, the economy will be worried.
Yeah.
But anyway, for I think for today's episode, I think we that's good. I think it's enough.
Yeah. I think it's a start. At least we are back. We're saying something. We're talking.
No. So obviously, hopefully, this is a good start for future episodes. And I've really enjoyed having that discussion because we need to talk as a country. We need to continue having conversations.
Before even you finish, is one thing I forgot to ask it is, should we do more public participations in like things that happen in our local areas, involving maybe making roads, I don't know where people can get that information. I just remembered a time people were just sharing things on a newspaper cutout, on WhatsApp groups. But public participation on things is something you always hear that there's public participation and people approved these things. I think there has to be a more transparent way of, maybe it's ni sisi hatuangaliangi.
Yeah, well, of course, the only way solutions can be tailored to our needs is if we have requested for them. You cannot tell me I need a pit latrine here. And I have a pit latrine, I really like that bush. Let's have a discussion and we are aligned on, indeed we need 1, 2, 3 solutions that the government is proposing. That's only through public participation. And the thing about the thing I like about that is the fact that it also further cements and furthers our freedom of speech and our freedom of expression and congregation, really. And so, I think we need to do that more. How to go about it, obviously, I think it's really dependent on the person running the project or running.
So what happened in Bomas with the Gen Zs?
There were stools being thrown around.
Yes.
But I'm just saying we need to continue having these discussions.
Okay, fair enough.
Yes. So thank you so much for joining in. We loved your company. It's a first episode back.
We're back.
We're hoping to be a bit more consistent.
Yeah.
Of course, this is me and Kevin. Kevin doubles as our producer and also doubles as
a stand-in when
a member,
a
cast member. So we're hoping now moving forward we'll have a bit more. We'll bring, of course, back the guys that we used to do it with, and obviously a few more guests as we grow.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, and
Bye.
if you have questions, let me hope I don't have any. If you have questions, if you have anything you want us to discuss, please always write in the comment section and we'll be happy to discuss them. If you think we are brilliant, no, I don't want to say that.
If you want to join in as well.
Oh yeah, if you
would love to have you on.
Actually, that's a good. I like that. Yes. We can have someone just come in
from our audience.
Yeah,
if you want to be part of our discussion, please reach out and we'd love to have you on.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.